Horror films can traditionally be a great starting place for new filmmakers, especially since it's a genre that can be achievable with a low budget. With Shelby Oaks, director-writer Chris Stuckmann makes a noble attempt at a first feature by mixing found footage with a mystery plot. While the movie takes a while to find its footing and Stuckmann can resort to some of the usual horror movie tricks, there are moments when he's able to build tension as a woman wanders around looking for her sister. The movie also seems to have quite a bit to say about our fascination with abandoned places. Shelby Oaks does an okay job of setting up the mystery, although the early scenes rely a lot on exposition. There's a bunch of time devoted to news reports explaining what this YouTube channel, exploring possibly paranormal locations, is all about. It's difficult not to think of the obvious Blair Witch Project influence, as we see these YouTubers wandering around and investigating things in the woods, and a major plot device involving a found tape. Although Stuckmann also seems to be putting a lot of his own expertise about YouTube and his viewers into the story. When the story starts focusing on the main investigator's sister Mia, we get a number of scenes of her just looking at screens. It's possible to make that cinematic, but they're just not interesting enough. The film also has a tendency to use a few too many jump scares to elicit a response from the audience. Jump scares are probably the cheapest horror movie tactic, with them often involving something suddenly popping out while a loud noise plays. Where Shelby Oaks starts to get a bit more interesting is when Mia goes out into the world in search of her sister. Stuckmann knows how to build tension as she wanders about an abandoned prison and the woods. He also understands the fascination with abandoned places, and he makes good use of locations, like the closed prison, which many cinephiles will recognize as the same one where Shawshank Redemption was filmed, and a theme park rustling away in the forest. And when Stuckmann throws in a few chase scenes, those also provide a bit of excitement, as there's a hope for Mia to get out of that situation. One remarkable aspect about Shelby Oaks is how incredibly well paced it is. Stuckmann and the editors move the plot along nicely, and it becomes a shock when the end credits roll, as it feels like there's still another half hour left. Shelby Oaks is a noble attempt to do something slightly different with a found footage concept. The idea of showing someone actually trying to locate the people in the footage is an interesting one, although it takes a while for things to really get into place. The early scenes don't quite hit, as we're bombarded with exposition. However, Chris Stuckmann does eventually rely on the atmosphere and location to create intrigue in what's happening, and Camille Sullivan delivers a solid performance in the lead role. The film especially seems to have something to say about the online culture surrounding the unsolved and unknown. The script and other directing choices could have made some additional tweaks here and there, but Shelby Oaks does make one curious to see what Stuckmann decides to do next, whether remaining in horror or exploring other genres.